I hope everyone have a great day. Today I wanted to talk about my FX4 model. That's my model that I kind of started my journey as an ICT trader. Okay. This is my unique opinion. Okay, like it's not like it's not absolute science. It's not anything like you must take that as a financial advice. I want you guys to do your own research. Okay. Um, this is like the model that for me has been like kind of like clicking, okay, in terms of how I've started as an ICT trader, a couple years ago, right? I've been trading for the last 8 years, this model specifically. Um, but the thing it was like missing a lot of components, and with ICT himself, like on his YouTube channel, I've been able to bridge the gap and close the gap basically of what I was like missing in term of like components, in term of like concept, in term of things that was missing, to be able to really understand what's going on behind the candlesticks, okay? And it took a couple years, like and every day like I was studying, have you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of notes and studies hours, like probably above like 20K hours, of studying. Um, so like it's a big journey, but I kind of like wanted to share this with the community because in my opinion it's a very strong it's still it's technically a edge, right? Like it's literally an edge. And if you're able to make something with it, like you're more than welcome. So this presentation is gonna be an introduction, obviously, because it's gonna be a series of like probably around more than 12 videos at least. There's more than 12 episodes to do, but that's gonna be the first one. That's the introduction, obviously. I wanted you guys to be able to see what it is a little bit more. And like if you don't have time right now, just better like put the video on the watch later and come back when you have time, because this video is probably gonna be a long video. I mean, I expect to be like minimum 20 minutes. I don't know how much I'm gonna talk about each of the slide. um I've kind of like prepared those slides, but I don't really have like a specific like narrative or script, like this is all sincerity. This is all by myself on what I kind of like experience based on this model specifically. All right. So, like I said, that's my unique opinion. Okay. It's not perfect science. It's nothing like it's supposed to be like 100% this. Okay. There's data that doesn't work. Okay. There's data that works. But overall, like I want you guys to experience by yourself. That's the goal. Okay. Also, I don't want you guys to believe what I say, okay? Like all of these things need to be confirmed by yourself, okay? Like I'm not validating anything, okay? Like I'm not validating anything. Like I'm showing you what I, experience over time, and basically you can decide what you want to do with it. And if you are not interested at all, just move on, just go on something else. It doesn't matter to me, all right? So, for some reason, okay. So that's the FX4 model introduction. Like I said, it's been like a couple years that I trade this model. Like over time, it's been improved, right? Like it's like every type of like gem that you extract from the ground over time. When you kind of like have this gem in your hands and you carry this gem over time, it kind of like polish itself. It become more shiny and it become more interesting to see, and visually it become more shiny, right? And eventually when you have all the tool that you need, you can like start cutting this gem and make it like more, like more transform, and it looks like literally like a jewel. That's the goal. So if I today, if you learn something and if you get something out of that, and if you like I said, and as well, I want to make clear that I'm not a teacher. Okay, I'm just an ICT trader that experienced all of this. I'm not teaching anything, but I want to show you the model, what it is, and how I utilize it. What's the goal behind the components? I want to like explain all of this, so you're gonna be able to look at this and do whatever you want with it. Okay, so a little bit of a story. So like I said, I've been able to over time, kind of like find my way a little bit with that. I've been like profitable since like maybe 2 years max, 3 years maybe, yeah, maybe 2 3 years now. Literally living out of that, literally. So that's my main bread and butter, I can say. And I've kind of like when I started this journey, right, I kind of like put a big bag in my back, a big pilgrim, a big bag, and I kind of like put a lot of stuff in it, like over time, and I collect stuff that was like interested, stuff that was like not really interested. So over time, it's like just the experience. It's like a snowball, right? It started very small, and when it dropped, from the mountain, it's kind of like growing. It become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and the goal, is always going forward. So that was like, a little bit of a story, but the June 27, 23, right? We kind of like give a preview. Like I've been collaborating with 2 degrees. He's a Pine script coder for TradingView, but he has also his own tools and all that stuff. But we did like a collaboration, like a very talented man, very like a lot of like nice coding, like really really good. Like in my opinion, that's one of the best Pine script coder you can find. Okay, that's just my honest opinion. But basically, we kind of like collaborated together and decided to create like an indicator for that. And it's not really a classic indicator like in stochastic or like MACD that shows something, like that's gonna indicate something and gonna say, all right, like look right here, it's overbought or whatever. That was not the goal. The goal was to create, okay, a framework, a visual framework that you can apply out on top of the chart on some specific time frame that you always look at and build a vision. Okay, like the goal was to create some glasses that you put on and you're able to see something that repeat over time, because it's like all of the component that you see on this framework are all time based. Okay, like we have like the previous day range, we have the 9 hour range, all of those components, they're all time based. Okay, so like if you show up every day, you're always going to see some sort of variation of the same thing, because the time itself is going to print the same range of time because it's already predetermined. But the price is going to do something else, and that's where the magic happens. That's where you're going to see something different every day. And over time, when you gain so much experience over the model and you see it, and you see it and you see it and you see it, eventually it just become automatic. Okay, what I mean by that, like when we walk in the street, we're like used to see, let's say, a blue car, a red car. You see those cars, right? And you're like, all right, that's a blue car right there, that's a red car right there, okay, that's a tree right there, that's a sky right there. We're so used to see those stuff that they just become part of us. They become part of your universe, basically, right? And that was my goal with this model specifically. That was to take something that is consistent. So if you look at something consistent, right, there's only one thing that's gonna be consistent overall, right? Like if you look at the moon, right? The moon, when it says it's gonna be a full moon this date, if you go outside at this day specifically, the moon's gonna be full moon outside at this date because it's precise, because it's consistent, right? So what you can get in terms of consistent in this model is like it's all of those components that plot on the other like indicator framework, and those are consistent. They're always going to be there every day, okay? They're always like, if you show up, let's say I like to trade, let's say at 9 a.m. All right. If you show up at 9 a.m., a big part of the framework is going to be already print, right? So now you have like some data that has been transformed in a framework. From that framework, you can work on with the PDA data, with the concept that ICT tell you, like you can build around that. And that's the beauty of that, because if you don't have a framework that is consistent, how are you going to become consistent? It takes more time, in my opinion. So that was my goal, to build this tool, right? We started the project probably in, I don't know, like April 23, I guess. It's been a long time, like we're really working on this, and like it's been a very nice journey. I'm still very happy that the being in this type of like product, or like this type of like fun, like it's not really a product, to be honest, because it's a free tool, okay? Like it's a free tool that we literally give for everybody, trying to help, the folks that try the really like make it as a living. Like I said, it's something that is very consistent in terms of visual like interpretation. Like that's how your brain's gonna see stuff, and over time, subconsciously, you're gonna be able to build what's missing, basically, right? And there's like all of those components. I'm gonna go deep in details about all of this stuff during that series. So if you haven't like subscribed the channel, I invite you to sign up for the channel. Like you can follow the channel and maybe turn on the alerts, because I'm gonna be like in the next couple months posting like all of the stuff around this model specifically. Okay. And as well, I'm gonna explain how you can like adjust all the settings, and you can do all that stuff, and like what kind of reinforcement we're looking for, what kind of PD arrays we look for inside of this, and it's all ICT related. So like I said before, I'm not a teacher, right? Like so all the stuff that I'm giving you today on this video specifically, it's only information, okay? Like I put the information on this video, and if you want to teach yourself based on the information, you can do whatever you want. Okay, this is not a financial advice. This is my honest opinion. This is not science. Okay, this is not. It is science, but it's not like pure science. It's not like a confirmed science. It's not. It doesn't mean like something that is 100% proven. Okay, so I want you guys to investigate on your side, but the model comes from me, right? The coding part come from 2 degrees. You can find 2 degrees on my channel if you go like in the section of probably like recommended channel. In ICT itself, it's been like a big guy in my journey, and I very very blessed, okay, honestly, because I guess there's nothing random, right? Like kind of like I kind of like find this guy when it was like the right timing, and everything just become aligned, and that was just like amazing. So that was like a quick explanation of when we released the first. That was just a preview, by the way. Like this is like just a preview of the PDF like that we released back then, but um there's everything's gonna be remade, because this PDF is probably it's still good, but there's so many things that been had like later on. So so the July 4th, we released the first version, okay, the number one version on TradingView. If you don't know TradingView, it's a trading platform that you can use, that you can sign up on this trading platform, and you can like sign up, and you can like see the data from specific assets, pretty much all the assets, I would say. And basically, the framework is going to be automated on your charts. It's going to be plotting like that. Pretty similar to this. It changed maybe a little bit, but that was the first version, right? And this post specifically reached like 200K views, which is crazy to me, because this is all started from a single ID, like a small ID, and like everything is fractal. It just exploded, right? And There's a lot of people that use this tool right now, okay, but the episode, the series, not gonna be specifically about the tool, okay. The tool is only there, uh like I said, as a vision, as a framework, but there's a lot of works to do around that to be able to be profitable and be able to take the right trade, take the right decision. Because at the end of the day, you are the guys gonna click the button, right? I'm not there when you're gonna do your own thing, right? So on August 25, we announced an update, which was a very successful update. We kind of like add the AMD um, sequencing, like the AMD accumulation, manipulation, distribution, which is a concept from ICT Power F3. And that AMD, we kind of like build a table. And unfortunately, I don't have the table very close, but this is going to be part of the series, right? I'm probably gonna dedicate like a full episode just for this table right here. There's so much things that you can extract out of that. There's a lot of things to know, right? But like we like implemented this feature in August 23, which is was nice like to announce. And again, like the post reached a decent amount of views, you know. But we added a couple other features as well, but that was just like the main thing. Okay. Um, on the 6th right there on 23, I said I announced like I'm gonna release that YouTube series. Unfortunately, I kind of like got so many things to do, right? Like, unfortunately, I was like not really able to create this series, so that's why I'm now happy. But the series gonna looks a little bit like that. There's probably some episode that's gonna differ a little bit. Like the introduction was like the number one episode, which is the one that you listen right now. That started. That like I'm very happy to be doing this. And the number two is going to be the tools that I like to use around and the knowledge that is required to be able to understand a little bit how the frameworks work. Okay. The frameworks component is going to be explained, like all the range, all the type of range that you can have inside of that. And today, like I said, it's just an introduction. So, like, it's important to understand the introduction because most of people, they're never going to listen the last episode. And unfortunately, like I'm telling you right now, but all the good juice gonna be in the last episode. Okay, like because I don't want to reward the lazy people that like I'm down to give all of this for free, that information, but I want as well you guys to be able to work for a little bit. Okay, so if you look at like the ICT core content, if you look at all of this stuff, all of the first video, they're all full enthusiasts. Everybody's there, and that's the same thing with like gyms, right? In January, right, when everybody like start the new year. Oh, this year I'm gonna go to gym. I'm gonna be in shape. I'm gonna be the top guy, and everybody gave up after the month three, or maybe two, or maybe even like the month one. So like the numbers talk by themselves, right? Everybody is interested by the introduction, but like it's a lot of works, it's a lot of studies, right? I promise you, right? All of those series they're gonna be more than a couple minutes. It's not gonna be, you're not gonna learn all of this in 5 minutes. That's what I mean. Okay, and there's a lot of time to put, but in my opinion, it's valid because I've put all of this time and I swear right now, I live out of this. So like, it's my trading, it's my things. I do this, every single day. I show up every day. That's my store, right? So like, I open my store every day. Like when I trade, for me, it's like opening a store. Like I want to trade with other people. That's where like I'm trading my stuff. Okay, so like all of those episodes, they're probably gonna be more than 13 to be honest. And maybe I'll remove the episode 13 because I don't like this number specifically. But um, you know, so that was like a little bit of a story on how I kind of like over time introduce this concept and talk about. There's a lot of people right now that are already making money with this model, and the beauty of that, and there are in some like very hard country like to live, like, and they able to bring the food on the table, and that for me is like game changer. That's the reason why I do it. So, well, try to help, the folks that just want a little bit of like bread on the table, if that makes sense, So, um, and if I can help you too, like that's my goal. The more people I help, like the more I feel good. Okay. So more specifically, right, the FX4 model is my automated ICT framework. Okay, it's not a specific model. Okay, do this at this time, it's gonna be that. Okay, there's a lot of people that thinks that the my model is this, but in general, it's more like a very very like general purpose like model that you can use in a lot of different way. Like how everything is fractal technically, right? um you can take a seed, you put it in the ground, you get a tree after a couple of years. After a couple of years, that tree is going to become like apples, and you get those apple, and you can do like pie with them, and you can do with the pie, you can like sell that, and you can get money with that. And like there's always like something you can do with nothing. Okay, like it started from a seed. So this model is technically a seed. Okay, like you can do so many things with it. Okay, that's the truth. That's my ultimate high trainer. Okay, how I've been able to read the candlesticks, this helped me tremendously, because like I said, right, it takes a specific time range of this time, the previous day from this time to this time, this and that, and it gives me some sort of like visual reference. So like this visual reference, when you see it every day for years and years and years over time, it become automated for you. Like the decision, they're gonna be so clear. If you have like institutional order flow, let's say bullish on like 3 time frame, like the top time frame, right? And price wants to reach for this level, and you get that discount from the previous day in this model, specifically in this framework. Now it's like it's just clicking automatically, and you have like a very cool invalidation, because that this like supposed to be like a efficient range. You don't want to go lower than this, and basically you take the buy and this thing's just fly, and you make like the profit, because you're in the daily expansion towards the previous daily high, which is like a completion of an mmxm. I'll show you that later on. But so the idea of this model specifically, it's an intraday trade more than anything else. So, for day trader, in my opinion, that's probably one of the best framework you can get. Like if you can find something better than that, like I'll be very curious to see, okay? Because I've been optimizing these things for years, right? Like try the company, and it's very simple. You'll see later on. It's so simple. That was my goal. Everything that I do, like you can ask like a lot of people that knows me, right? Everything that I do is so simple that it's stupid simple, that it's like working so well, because it's just very simple. And I try to keep things simple, you know, because it's just the best way that it works, like it's just like increase the probability of be able to do something with it. So that's the intraday trade specifically. That's the goal of the model, is to be intraday, like especially with prop firm. Now I think there's a lot of rules that you must be out before the end of the day and stuff like that. So that apply pretty well. um what you can get if you're a London trader, and I've been trading this London Judah swing for years now. uh, I try to go back a little bit on a New York schedule, because I'm living on East Coast, right? Like I try to be back. I try to be back, on the New York schedule, because I want to see the sun. I want to be more in sync with the circadian cycle. Like I don't want to get disease over time and all that stuff. But eventually I'll just like go live in Asia, or like just move somewhere, like for a couple months. I like to go in Florida for winter. But basically I try to be aligned, with the London Judah swing and the protection. But the cool thing is, if you're a New York trader, you can use this London Judah swing and this protection as a confluence in New York to be able to see what happened in London, and you can align yourself with some specific liquidity pool that we're gonna talk about as well, and you know, so. But I've been trading the protraction and the Judas swing for a decent amount of time in London. Like, in it's for me, especially in forex, right? I was like a big Euro USD trader for years, and honestly, if you put like the two charts side by side, you have like, let's say, two monitors, right? You can put the DXY on one monitor and you can put Euro USD on the other monitor, and you can compare the this framework, and it's like it's almost like, in my opinion, free money. But that was like very cool. So if we have like some forex folks in this YouTube series, this is gonna be for you. Okay, if we have some future trader, it's gonna be for you too. It's a universal model. Okay, I use it for everything. Okay, like I have like 8 screen behind my laptop. So I have like a laptop where I put my position in and also like do my drawings, and I basically sync this with my 8 screen in the back. Like, I'll maybe show you the setup later on in the series. But basically, right, I have 2 screens that are just my framework, okay, and they're on the 15 minutes, so I can see, 15-minute liquidity pool. I have like 4 15 minutes per hour, so I can build all of this, fractally. But I have like this framework all the time on those screens. So I refer my eyes. My eyes, like, as soon as I enter my office in the morning, I go and I sit on my chair. I can see, like, I do my full rotation. I look at news and all that stuff, and I can see the framework, and what happened during the London session. I can see all that stuff. So all of those cool things, we're all gonna talk about that in the episode, like later on. Maybe not this one, but the next one. The goal of this model specifically, right, is to be able to catch the daily expansion following the institutional order flow. Okay. So the institutional order flow, right, we all know it's the monthly time frame, it's the weekly time frame, and it's the daily time frame. So what I like to do in the morning, right, I like to go over those 3 time frame and make sure I'm still aligned, make sure there's no market structure shift, make sure that everything's going this direction, and I want to follow this ID. I want to follow this way. Okay, I want to go this way. So what I'm going to look for is I'm going to look for discount arrays if I'm bullish. I'm going to look for premium arrays if I'm bearish. Okay, but my model is going to be able to frame all of this automatically, like, for you. Just put it on the chart and you're able to see where the draw are, where the liquidity is, basically, and all that stuff. So it's very cool. Okay, so our goal is to basically catch the daily expansion, especially if you're in distribution from New York, right? If you're in Judah swing, you maybe wants to go a little bit the against the institutional order flow, because you wants to go grab, the opposite direction. But there's always an expansion, after that specific consolidation. But we're gonna talk about that stuff later on. This model is referred as the classic day from ICT. Okay, like ICT classic day, right? It's a very simple model. If you type on Google, or maybe not on Google, on YouTube, you probably can find this. But I inspire a little bit of this because, it's a very simple ID, in my opinion. And ICT said himself, that's one of the best model to make millions and millions of dollars. He recommend this to some bankers and all that stuff, and some bankers use this model now. If I'm not mistaken, maybe but I'm sure I already saw something like that, to be honest. So it's like the holy grail for me, at least. It was the holy grail for me, at least. It's like the revelation, like when you always showing up and you knock to the door, eventually there's a revelation, and that revelation for me was this model, specifically that framework, that type of ID that works, that like that things that repeat, that things that, like, you can become consistent, that you gain confidence. That for me, that was this thing. Okay, it repeat every day because, like I said, time is time, right? Like, and time's gonna print those components automatically for you on the charts, and it's basically repeating for that. So like this is consistent, right? It's consistent because it repeat every day. Like the framework's gonna be there even if it's the worst day ever. Okay, it's still gonna be there. So like you still can base some of your ID trade like around this thing. And like I said, sometime I trade a naked chart, but I still have this screen in the back that shows me this framework, and I works around this based on what I see on the naked chart. So like, don't mistake the fact that I trade a naked chart and you say, oh, you trade the indicator. Yeah, I have the indicator on the another screen. Okay, so I can see all of this basically. Don't worry about it. It's a consistent vision. Like I said, the blue car and the red car in the street, right? You've been able to see that, and you know that it's a blue car. Like if someone asks you, "What is this right there?" It's a blue car. Like you don't know that. So like it's the same kind of like idea. It's to be able to build a vision over time, some specific thing like that. And I swear, it 100% works. In term of like how you can build a very like nice glasses. I have some friends that never trade of their life. Okay, I give them this tool. I said, look, if this and that, if this and that, now you can look for this and that. All right, they took a couple notes on a bullet list, just quick like that, and they're able to make like a 200-300 bucks more than their salary. They're still working, obviously, but look, they're able to make a little extra with this. That's nice in my opinion. Like, and they're not really traders. Now they're gaining experience, but they've seen the model so much. And I've said that's very like infectious. Like if you think that you might need something else and you put something else, now you break that vision. So like if you like change the color of your chart, if you like, that's why I like to trade with the same color as my mentor, like which is ICT, like the green and the black candle, because all the teaching is this. So when I go back on my own chart, it's like almost like immediate. Like I can see because I just saw this on the video, right? And it kind of like build the same thing over time, basically. So it's like if you have like a big advance in term of vision. So that's why I see sometimes those people having like those purple and blue and orange charts. Like if you really study ICT, you want to use the same color, in my opinion, personally. Okay, because it's just helpful. Like you already like have all the stuff that you need. You know what I mean? So simplicity always win. Like you can have the craziest t-shirt in the world, but a white t-shirt and a black t-shirt always win. It's very simple. It's just mapping. That's what that's what I like to wear. Have those black and white t-shirts, just very simple, like probably $5 to $10 each. Just very simple. uh you know it's just like it's just very concept, like very simple concept. So that's what I mean by simplicity always win. And the more things that you wants to add, the more components that you have. Like I think that's Larry Williams that said that. Like the more components that you have, the more like things that can break. And that is true. Like the most simple thing is like sometimes the best. So it's an MMXM based trader. So like if you're an MMXM trader, um I like to spot the MMXM, okay, inside of this framework, and I'll show you like different type of it. There's a lot of them. There's one in London, there's one here, there's one there, there's one a lot of like there's a lot of everywhere. Okay, like it's in my opinion the market operate like just on this principle, this basic MMXM principle. And we're gonna go over that, but you always welcome to look at ICT YouTube channel to be really understanding deeply what it is, right? Uh, like I said, right? Reference AMD by Inner Circle Trader himself. This video right there, where he talk about the manipulation, the neutralizing, short liquidity, and all that stuff. All of these power of three concept, you can apply this inside this framework specifically. Okay, that's what I like to do personally. This slide right there, it's inspired a lot by the YouTube video that I was just talking about. This one right here. You can go look by yourself. You know, there's a full series about it, and if I'm not wrong, that's this series, the Market Maker Prime course. Okay, so those are like knowledge that you want maybe if you like to trade my framework, because all of these things, they're all components inside my model that I like. The AMD power of 3 cell, right? It start always with initial value price prior to imbalance. So that mean like the price start with a specific value, right? There's around the opening value a short position buildup. So they're gonna engineer, right? They're gonna engineer the long liquidity, and they're gonna neutralize the short liquidity. That's the manipulation phase, right? That's the accumulation phase, and there's the manipulation phase. And all of this sequence that you see right there, they're applied in every candlesticks. Okay, like it's there's high frequency trading, there's daily trading, there's monthly. Yeah, like it's applied everywhere. So like it's most base time, right? It's more base time. But you have the same thing inverted, right? You're more than welcome to pause the video and look at all of this. But those are the things that we can talk about in the episode, in the next episode in the series. Like I want to talk about that specifically because there's some specific thing that apply in the frameworks and the model specifically, right? Dynamic bearish price imbalance, that's where the price become imbalanced. That's where you can find in the lower time frame some fair value gap. That's where the big fair value gap on the 4 hour, daily, weekly, that's where they form, right? That's where price is literally imbalance. Okay, that's where price is moving. That's where price expansion, right? That's where the range is moving. Like that's where you get big move, right? That's most of the time that's where you want to be. Okay, if you're short seller, that's where you want to be. If you're buyers, that's where you want to be, like in this specific uh time, you know, not time, but this range expansion, right? So for me, the understanding of the power of three in AMD was a big plus, because if you don't know this, you don't really know what's going on at all, because everything is based on OHLC, right? Open, high, low, close. From every single candlesticks, there's always gonna be there, okay? Because it's time, right? Like time is very consistent. So like open, high, low, close, always gonna be there, like regardless time frame that you trade. And there's OHLC inside an OHLC, and like I said, right, with the fractal idea of like the pie, and you can have like the the apple from the tree, and it's all started from a seed. So you can do that same like big like explosion of reflection based on these things. The distribution right here, they're pairing the long exit with the pending buy interest. So like people that wants to buy in premium, they're gonna sell their discount to those people, and they're gonna sell their premium to the people that wants to buy for lower prices. Okay, and if you're against the or institutional order flow, most of the time that's where you want to enter. Okay, so like if you accumulate, right, at this phase right here, accumulation, you want maybe to be in this liquidity pool right there. That's probably the best entry you can get. The ending value price, the post price imbalance, that's where price close. That's the closing price. That's the closing value. And the closing value is going to reflect based on the, if you like compare the open and the close, you can see the expansion. So like inside of this expansion, you can find stuff that might be still like inefficient, and you can like balance and efficient this inefficiencies basically. And you know, like if you go over all the stuff from ICT, right, you can all understand all of those stuff. But there's a lot of things to understand inside of this, obviously, because it's going to be part of the series, right? Like I said, this series is really good, in my opinion, to understand a little bit more about my framework. If you have free time, look, they're all short video, 28, 20, 41. It's not the end of the world. Like you can go over that. There's still 24 video, but in my opinion, that's worth. Okay, like if you have free time, you should listen those. If you listen those like long time ago and you now understand more stuff, go again, go again. Look, I study like minimum like 8 to 10 hours a day. Okay, maybe some more sometime. To be honest with you, okay. I study all the time. I have books, because I create my own books. I have like probably some example to show you later on how I study ICT mainly. But there's a lot of notes to be taken. There's a lot of things that must not be ignored because if you consume all of this stuff like McDonald's fries, maybe you're not gonna understand anything. And if you complain that it doesn't work, it's because it's you are the problem. Like those things they work. So I swear to God, those things they work. Okay. So you must really study this extremely hard. Okay. Like it's all in there. Not specifically those, but I mean they're great, but there's a lot. There's the core content and all that stuff. So I talked a little bit about MMXM last maybe last 10 minutes or something. I said we're using the previous daily range, right? So that's the previous daily. Like imagine that this is the previous daily range. This candle right here, like the bullish candle and the bearish candle, those are closed, okay? Like they're closed. So like this green range that you see right here, that's the opening range for me from the new daily range, okay? And all of this right here is going to be in London session. So like your Judah swing and all that stuff, you can find all of this inside of this. And if you understand like the MMXM concept, right, you know what it is, like accumulation, a smart money reversal, distribution 1, 2, and clearing the original consolidation towards maybe an equilibrium between the previous daily range. Like if price take the buy side, right, he wants to distribute lower to people that maybe have pending order, below those lows right here, maybe below this low, and to ultimately find a fair value from the previous daily range. Okay, and that's just an example, but like this is something that you maybe must study. Okay, like in I say previous day, but it still works on a lot of time frame. Okay, just saying like that. That's a model. So like it starts from the original consolidation, which is the Asia range and all that stuff. But I have specific range for this. I'll show you that later on the series. Like especially, I think it's on the episode 3. I'm gonna be talking about the components, and I want to explain all the components specifically. Like look, this component right here, that's including the Asia range, but also we extend because we wanted to be opening at the London kill zone, and all that stuff to really snap the protection when it's time, when the expansion occur, when we know that the banks inject the liquidity, inject the volatilities and all that stuff. So like there's a lot of component that must be really understood, and that obviously it's gonna take a little bit of time to really understand everything. But that's a great example of like how we kind of like operate inside of this. We have the same thing, but instead of like looking for the external range from the previous daily range, right? We start with original consolidation. We immediately attack the range inside the previous daily range. So like we reach for a 50%, rebalancing the premium price above this 50% of the previous daily range, right? We reach for premium. And if we get displacement from the premium price, we can look to retarget this low. Obviously, you want to look for the original consolidation low, but also the previous daily low. So like it's the same thing for the bullish scenario, right? We reach for the 50%, sometimes can reach for OT from the previous daily range. Like if you take the high and the low of the previous daily range, you can have a fair value of the previous range, like specifically in this zone right here, right? And then you want to look for a buy possibly on the first stage or second stage. If you're like second stage, you can take this and just clear the original consolidation. It's gonna be your scalp for the day. Like there's a lot of components to keep in mind, right? And you got to be able to identify this. That's the hardest part, but it's coming. I know that it's coming. So that's as well another type of daily profile you can get in specific term of MMXM, right? That's a daily profile. Bearish day, a bullish day. This range right here, that's the accumulation range from the FX4 model. That's a 9-hour range from the 6 o'clock open or the 17 o'clock open to 2 a.m. Okay, so like sometime it's gonna be 9 hours, sometime it's 8 hour, depend. Uh, it depend. Okay, but the kill zone is 2 to 5. The London kill zone is 2 to 5. So you're gonna look for the same kind of like scenario from the daily range, right? If you wait a minute. If you go back to this, but instead of using the previous daily range, right, you're gonna use the 9-hour range, which is the accumulation of the actual daily range. And all of this low right here and this high right, that is fresh liquidity that never been engaged for the actual daily range. Okay. So if you rate this and you take a previous daily PD array, like let's say a nice order block or a nice fair value gap below this low or above this high, uh, that might be your trade. Okay, there's possible like structure inside of that. You can, and the goal is just to rebalance this range. So on the 9-hour range, uh, from the indicator, right, you have an equilibrium level. This this is all the stuff that I'm gonna talk in the next episode about the components specifically, but this range like is seen right now as a candlesticks because we can see it as a candlestick. It doesn't exist, but we can like compress all the candles together and get this 9-hour range specifically. It's a mechanical edge. Okay, it's a mechanical edge because if you go on my Discord, you can join the Discord on fx4model.com. There's a section on the Discord called Data 1RR Mechanical. I think there's like 200-300 example of just a simple one-to-one risk reward, a small like very small trade, but it's always there. um and you can use this as a like mechanical edge, but the idea of the mechanical edge is just to prove that it's a little bit something. Okay, it's something that repeat, but the goal is not to trade this mechanical edge, is to add this mechanical edge as an edge for your own investigation, your own trade. That's the goal. Like, I don't want you guys to trade this mechanical edge because, like, if everybody on YouTube utilize this mechanical edge, it's not gonna work. Like, it's so. At the end of the day, like, I want you guys to understand that it's just a confluences. So, like, it's an extra confluences that is proof. Okay, like we've been able to prove this stuff. So, like, it's data, right? It's data proof. And we have like that over the last 10 years, if I'm not wrong, and there's a lot of things that's possible. The FX4 model indicator, right, is gonna be available on fxreplay.com pretty soon. Eventually, we're just gonna do some episode about it. I'll give you guys some discount and all that stuff, possibly an extra code or whatever. But and to be honest with you, I don't really do a lot of promotion. I don't really do promotion with anybody. But the fact that you've been able with me to collaborate on this project, I think it's a very cool thing. So I'm very proud and honest with you that it's, in my opinion, it's a great thing to be able to back this, because you can back this like 15 to 30 years. Okay, like 15 to 30 years with the same model. So you can show up every single day from like 30 years ago and like do a full weekend or like a full week of like back testing and really understanding the hedge and really like practicing. And there's a lot of things to understand, right? So like the cool thing about FX Replay, it's like they have a lot of data for future, they have a lot of data for forex, they have a lot of data for gold, like, and there's some cool things coming in on this platform. So like, I'm just saying, but there's gonna be an episode just for them. Okay, I want to show you like how to use the platform, how I can add the tool on the platform, how I back this. I'll do some back this with you like in live session. Why not? And I think that's gonna be cool. So I put some example of the framework on a screenshot base, right? I wanted to show you a little bit how it looks like. That's a 100% automated framework. So um, I want to announce right now. It's the so yeah. There's an announcement to do right now, but we've been working on a minimalistic version of the FX4 model. So like instead of like a big box like that and like something too heavy for the charts, we kind of like take a piece of we take some sizers and we kind of like do an haircut. Okay, like we kind of like put it more light. It's more minimalistic. So like people that likes to have like their charts clean, that's going to be cool for you, because right now we're kind of like going this direction with the tool. Okay, I want the tool to be more like um more lightweight for the eyes, because my eyes as well, personally, like I like my chart naked now, to be honest. So I want like the tool to be more um light. So this is something that we've been working on for the last couple months, and it's now announced that today, like, we're gonna be releasing this probably next week or something. But and there's gonna be an announcement on my Twitter. So if you haven't followed my Twitter, it's FX4_living. So you can go on Twitter and find me. So like I'm gonna post a lot of update. I'll sometime as well post. I pretty much post something every day. So like, if you like gems and all that stuff, I like to post stuff. Just my goal is just to help other people. There's people thinking that I'm bragging or anything like that, but I have nothing to prove. That's the truth. But that's the 9 hour range right here. We have the previous daily range, right? So like if you remember like the MMXM I was talking about, right? There's a lot of multiple way, like as well right here. We open from the equilibrium level, we tap in above this premium level, we redistribute lower right here, we take this low right here, re-come back and probably in bearish order block right here, retarget this low right here, reflush this low, and that's buy side imbalance right here. And basically just expansion on the daily, because this move right here was like smart money, right? And when we tap below this low right inside this buy side inefficiencies right here, all of this range was pretty efficient. So like we just expand, and that, if you catch this expansion move, like it's a great move in my opinion, right? It's a great move. That's the tab right here. You can see the tab a little bit. So like this tab right here, like my mouse is on this tab right here, is going to show you the AMD, and it's not as perfect science. Sometimes it's wrong, okay? Like, and I want you to be conscious about it. And it's basically taking the time of, like, let's say a 15 minute, and it divided by 3 to get, an approximation of, like, the beginning of the candle is going to be an accumulation, the middle possibly can be a manipulation. But sometimes the manipulation can happen in accumulation because it's two things that works together, right? If you accumulate, right, you can also manipulate, obviously. So that's an example right here. Like I said, that's the midnight open. That's another component that it's inside of it. But right now, like I would say, like I'll show you like later on, right, a real example. But the minimalistic version is like so sweet. Like there's no like it's very 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 light compared to this. So, but still very clean, in my opinion. Another example right here. So we have this, change in state of delivery right here, buy side, engineer all of this right here. Take the buy side right here before delivering below this low right here. That's the 9 hour range right here, right? Tap below this place, and there's probably bullish order block in this area. Tap 50%, reject the discount right here below midnight open. You buy this, retarget this previous daily high, and basically that was like the day. It's not closed, right? But this day was still going up at this point. Some judo swing example that I like to share with you. Like those are the trade I've been taking. Okay. So you see, like we flush. Let me show you right here. Where my mouse is? My mouse going on the other screen for some. Okay, so like right here, that's the previous daily high. This line right here that you see, that's the previous daily high. The range was right here. We purged the buy side right here, repurged this high, repurged this high, and eventually kind of like, all right, like I'll take this high, and if he purged this high, now I'm gonna look for inside this fair value gap short. So in terms of level, right, that looks like a lot of position, but I'm kind of like slowly scaling with small position. So I build. You remember the pie again, right? So I'm building small position, and when it start delivering, rebalancing this imbalance to return this inefficiencies, right? And also the 50% of this range, flushing the sell side in the distribution phase. Uh, I was like in there basically. I took partial right here in a symmetrical swing of this OTE. Again, right here, symmetrical swing of this OTE right here, 61.8 inversion of this. Take two partial here, and the last partial was like the full extension of this all range towards the 50% of this 9-hour range right here. And this dotted line right here, this dashed line was the Asia range high basically. Again, that's a very whole example. That I think that was like one of the no, maybe not the first version, but So look how we like take this slow right here, retarget the 50%. That's the little mechanical trade I like to say, like in London session. And right here we rate for the previous daily equilibrium. Below this slow right in this buy side inefficiencies, you can use probably this candle right here as an order block if you extend this, and now that's the daily expansion New York to retarget the previous daily high, and also this resistance liquidity run right here. So basically, right, it's the same thing every day, but that's a framework that help you visualize some stuff. That's the goal, right? That's the 9-hour range right here. And basically we rated the low right here, changing state of the inside of this. And I was already inside of that. And look, I only take this small trade right here, the 1-to-1 I was talking about. And when you have this 1-to-1 displacing, when you have this 1-to-1 displacing your direction, you can reduce the risk considerably. So like it become a 1-to-2, but it's initially start as a 1-to-1. And there's specific day, right? Like a Monday, let's say, that that they don't have like a lot of juice to push through the sell side, like and really go far in London session. So that price possibly reverse, and because there's transaction all the time, right? Previous daily high again right here. Look at this right here. We took this 9-hour range high right here and retarget the 50%. That was like the little 1-to-1 mechanical again. Retarget the previous daily high right here, right? Start displacing. I took the short and I closed everything right in that buy side inefficiencies, because this is right here 15-minute. Look at this buy side imbalance right here. I kind of like closing the C of this right here, where it's like a little loading logo. The reason why I closed, because this candle was imbalanced too, right? Like decent amount of fair value gaps. So I don't want to give back my profit. And I was like done for the day already for London session. And you see what happened next. Like it kind of like go above the close me right here. And I don't know why. I think I like go long right here at this point. Yeah, I think I go long at this point at 50% right here below the slow, because I was like bullish on a high time frame. And all of this range right in a 15-minute was super efficient. Like you can see it's extremely heavy inside of this, right? So another good example right here, sell side liquidity taken. The market structureship, you can treat this as a 22 mentorship entry as well. You take this high and this low right here, you type into OT right here, you can buy all of this, retargeting this high. You see, I was like not rating, I mean, it was very close, and I was looking for the 50% of this range again, of the 9-hour range, because this 15-minute was inefficient, and this drop right here, like this massive drop that you see right here was inside of this. So I was looking just to go back, right? And when this candle closed right, it was like supporting the price with this ID right here, was already inside of that, and this rejection block and this order block right here, the retarget the 50% of this range just to rebalance the whole thing. So I was already inside of this. This was kind of crazy actually. I took a short right here. This is like on the previous daily, and it distribute lower. But you see, there's a lot of things you can do, like rate this 4-hour low right here. All of those little bucks right here, that's another tool that I have on my website, which is an OHLC tool. So you can like plot the 4-hour candle if you want as a frame, as a box, as a framework. And you can as well do some little, a little FX4 model with it. It's pretty cool. Uh, but I close everything right here because this thing was just flying. Is it like the last frame? Yeah, I think it's the last frame. So it's been 1 hour 23 seconds. Not bad. I guess I'm very timed actually. But this was like the introduction. Okay. I'll just return to the first frame right here. It's gonna be like an outro. As well, like a kind of like rewind of everything. So this was like the first episode. I know it's not perfect, right? I'm not a video YouTuber or whatever you call that. It's not perfect. I try to stay natural. I try to stay, just like if I speak to a friend, try to keep it like simple. So you guys are more than welcome to follow this series. It's gonna be a very, very cool series. I want to put a little bit of my time, like probably a lot of my time actually, uh, to help you, because at the end of the day, I don't need to do that. Okay, I don't need money. I don't need anything. Okay, I just want everybody to be happy. I want people to have some sort of like something to be able to push some nice trade and feed the family and do some cool stuff. Okay, if you make money with this model, eventually, you know, I want you to do like one good action for someone else, okay? That's the only thing I'm kind of asking, right? So, like, if you do something else for someone else, it can be very simple. It can be, like you can pay the lunch for someone, you can, like, all the good action, right? It can be simple as, like, giving, like, a bottle of water to someone that is homeless, okay? And it's simple as this, okay? Like if you can buy a bottle of water and give that to someone that have no home, it's something that I will appreciate greatly. So hope you guys enjoy, and we catch you on the next episode.